What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay. Let's go. We back with another video. Today I'm finna get with you boys. I'm finna tell y'all about my guy Samson from the Bible. Now, if you don't know Samson, Samson is one of the judges of Israel. He's one of the men who were able to help free Israel from captivity when they were under a different country's rule, because they were punished by God because they were not listening to God. So God put them under punishment, but then he later on he would deliver them a judge to free them. And so Samson is one of the probably most known judges in the Bible, I would say. And the reason why I would say this is because that if you read, everybody usually knows about him because how strong and how great of a man he was when it came to just pure strength and power. And I want to talk about some of the things that why there was actually specific reasons on why he was that strong. And on top of that, there was a agreement or covenant that was made. And this goes back to Numbers. So if you read Numbers in the Bible, which is chapter 6, you can read you can read the whole chapter 6 in Numbers, because it would tell you that why he was that way, because Samson was known as a Nazarite. And so a Nazarite, there are specific rules and things that they must do to be a Nazarite. The specific laws and oaths they must follow that they can't break. And so this is important because leads up to why Samson ended up having a great downfall that a lot of people know is when he was, he fell in love with a harlot named Delilah, and she was able to convince him to let his secret of how he was so strong. And everybody knows about him, like him cutting his hair makes him lose his strength, but people don't know that it wasn't just him cutting his hair. It was one of the things and the main thing to why he lost his strength. But there are other things that he did that Nazarites weren't supposed to do that he did. So for one thing, that Nazarites can't have any alcohol or any drink. It tells you that they must never touch any alcohol or any drink. They're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to be separated from that. Another thing is they're never to touch a dead body. And this also happens because if you read in Numbers chapter 13 or 14, Samson literally he eats honey from a hive that was in a lion's carcass. Actually the lion that he killed, and he wasn't supposed to do that. And so there's a lot of things that Samson did that he wasn't supposed to do, and that he was being disobedient to God, but God still allowed him to still have his great power because God used him to free Israel. And so another thing about Samson and that we can understand is that when you make a sacrifice and there's an oath and there's a agreement and covenant that is used to God, and when God gives you something in return for that oath and that covenant, that once you break it, that there are severe repercussions to breaking that. And so we as Christians must know that, one thing I would suggest, and something that a pastor that I listen to, and then Brother Josh, he always says that that's something that you really shouldn't play with, because you make an oath and you make a covenant to God, that God takes that very seriously. And there are other examples of that in the Bible as well, but I just wanted to use this one to get that through people's heads, that, make sure when you make an oath to God, you stick to it. Now, the second thing that I really have to tell you guys about is that gifts. And so we all know that Samson's gift was strength. Everybody know the man, he literally destroyed 1,000 men with the jawbone of a donkey. So that just give you how strong he was. And the reason why I want to give gifts is that, so whenever God makes us, there's a gift that he gives every single person on this earth. Regardless of if you're a good person, you're a bad person, you're evil, whatever, that gift was ordained for you. And so when you have that gift and God gives you that gift, that when God makes us, he wants us to use our gifts for him, but he gives us free will. So you can choose to deny him and use your gifts some other way, or you can use your gifts to glorify God. It's up to you. But those gifts are going to belong to you no matter what. So this is why we see people who are so gifted and talented and able to do things, and they don't, worship God or live godly lives, or are bad people. Well, why are these people blessed like that? It's just the gift that they were born with, and they have the free will whether to use that gift correctly or not. It's up to them. And that's because God does not interfere with our free will. A lot of things people have misconstrued is that people think that, yes, God can do anything he wants to, but he gave us free will. And with him giving us free will, we have to make choices whether to allow him to work in our lives or not. This is why the devil knows that's a loophole he can use, so that's why he tempts us. That's why he tempts and entices us to sin, because the devil can't make you, sin, but he can tempt you very hard to go and sin, and you can choose to use your free will to sin. And once you do that, that is when you come into agreement to, I want to do this sin now because I chose to do it. Even though I was tempted, I chose to do it. And so this is something that we have to understand with us as Christians, that whenever you have a gift, that you need to be able to use it the right way, and that no matter what happens in life, we have the free will to choose to follow the Lord, and that we need to make sure that our free will is not getting manipulated by the devil to go out and sin. We need to deny temptation, deny the devil at all costs. So I thank you guys for listening. I know this was a long video, but I hope you guys stayed around, because I really wanted to edify you guys and make sure that you guys, really receive the word. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and hope that when you guys go out this week, y'all stay safe. Everybody's celebrating the holiday that they celebrate, but I just hope you guys stay blessed. Amen.